Hey, good morning. Happy Thursday to you. Happy Christmas Eve to you. I pray that you are off to an amazing start to your day. This is your girl, Coach O, founder and CEO of Action Speaks Volume Incorporated, known as your procrastination strategist, behavior change expert, where I help you to build unshakable confidence, stop procrastinating, and you got it. Get your dreams out of your head into your life. Today is an amazing day for you to yet think about your desires, your dreams, for you to yet think about where you want to go and the things that you want to do. So as we tune in and as we get this party started, go ahead and let me know where you are tuning in from. Let me know where you are tuning in from. Invite, share, hit the share button, invite someone. And we're not going to be on here long at all because I know many um, many are probably preparing, whatever you all are doing, making excuses as to why you're not working on what you need to be working on. But that's another topic for another day. This is your girl, Coach O. So go ahead and just say something because I see the numbers going up, but I don't see anybody saying anything. But anyway, I just want to acknowledge you when you come on. Just let me know where you're tuning in from. But you see what the title is. Are you vision driven or situational driven? Are you vision driven or situational driven? That right there says a lot by itself. That says a lot all by itself. Because when we are driven by certain things, it would determine the action that we take. It will determine the moods we're in. It will determine the attitude that we carry. So we have to be very clear on what drives us. What drives us? Because if we are vision driven, this is for me. Being a vision-driven individual, it doesn't matter about what situation and what circumstance. Good morning, caller. Thank you so much for tuning in from California. So glad to see you this morning. But when you are vision-driven, it doesn't matter what situations or circumstances come up. You have the vision in the forefront of your mind. Therefore, you are still focused on what you're focused on. If you're situational vision, if you're situational driven, a lot of times when things happen, it'll stop you in your tracks because we feel like this situation come up. And so we have to be very careful. And I see you, caller, you said both. We have to be very careful on being situational driven because that can drive your life. And it can drive you kind of crazy. It can drive you very stressful because when we are situational driven, and people are both in either one or, neither one. Some people don't have no drive. But you got to think about, if I am situational driven, and situations occur a lot of times outside of my influence, doesn't have anything to do with me. Situations and circumstances and distractions will keep you off the track. So when we are situational driven, something happened today and something happened tomorrow and something happened this day. Do you know how many days and how many things can happen to get you off of your, to get you from working towards your goal and to get you from working towards the life of your dream? So when you have a vision in mind, you have to deal with what you deal with. Not to say that when things come up, you don't address them or you don't deal with them or you don't handle the thing that need to be handled. You deal with what you deal with, but you don't let that make or break you. Hear what I'm saying? You don't let the situation make or break you. Good morning, Tawana. Thank you so much for joining. You do not let the situation determine if you're going to get out of bed. We cannot let the situation determine if we're going to show up in our business. We cannot let the situation determine what type of attitude we're going to have. Because have you noticed that some people, when they're going through, their attitudes change with an outside world that don't even have no clue to the thing that you're facing. So we have to determine, am I going to be the same, or does situations change the way I show up on a daily basis? The situations change the way I show up because I don't know how to handle this thing that I'm going through. It can be relational, it can be family, it can be business, it can be financial. But we have to make up in our mind, despite the thing that we're faced and the things that we're having to go through, I am going to show up and be the same. Because it's an inconsistency in our path when everything else distracts us along the way. Just think about when you're driving. Do you know how many distractions that it can be when you're driving? You can have kids riding in the road. You can have children playing basketball in the road. You can have a ball roll in the road. You can have a cat in the road, a squirrel in the road. You can have a dog in the road. You can have people walking in the road. When you got some of these people, and I'm just going to say it the way it is, when you got some of these people that feel like they got bumpers on their back and on their bottom, they are walking. You got a trail behind them because one, they're disrespectful. Two, they just don't care. And three, they feel like they do what they want to do. So in certain places, now, you know, in certain places, you got to deal with people taking over the whole road and think you're supposed to trail behind them in your car. But those are distractions to where you're going. You're trying to get to where you're trying to get to because you had a vision when you left your house. You're trying to get to where you're trying to get to in your life because you had a vision. You did your vision. You had your vision on your board. You're trying to get your vision in your life. But there are things that come up. Stuff happened. COVID-19 happened. Life happened. Diagnosis happened. Death happens. People leave happen. People come happen. People are happy for you happen. People hating on you happen. Envy happen. Jealousy happen. So does all those different things stop you from the way you show up because you're not getting the support that you thought you was going to get? It happens. Emergencies happen. Things break down that you did not even know that was going to break down. You didn't have you don't have a savings account. So stuff comes up. So does that impact how you show up? Do you take a break? Do you take a long pause when things show up in your life? Or do you already have a plan to say, if this happened, this is how I'm going to respond. If that happened, this is what I'm going to do. And no matter what happens, I am not going to allow it to stop me. Because do you know that you have some distractions that are assigned to you to get you off a track? Now, there's some stuff that's out of our control. But when you know the enemy, he knows about your success more than you do. He knows what you're trying to do. He knows where you're trying to go. So sometimes there are people above you. There are people in front of you that's already waiting on you to come. And you wonder why this detour. You like, I didn't know this was here. They knew they was going to be there at that time, but you didn't. Sometimes you set up. It's a setup. It is a setup. So when you think about situations being a setup because they don't want you to meet your goal, they don't want you. Some people know that they know what triggers you. It's a setup. They know the right words to say. Sometimes it's your mate. They know the right thing. They know if they say that thing or if they do that thing. Sometimes it's your kids. They know the right trigger. They know it. They know it. I call all that situational. Are you going to let those situations, are you going to allow those situations to stop you from showing up? Are you going to allow? See, and one of my mentors and business partners, he told us, he said, this is a holiday. This is not a holiday month. I thought that was cute, but it's true. We'll take off a whole month for our birthday. We'll take off a whole month for Christmas. And it doesn't take all of that. I mean, a lot of times we'll say, it don't take all that when it comes to this, that, and the third. Now, some of this stuff that we do, it doesn't take all of that. But it's not we should not use the holiday for a holler month and use it as an excuse as to why we're not showing up. We'll say that, oh, I got, my family gonna be here. I'm gonna have to look at where my family's sitting there financially for us to all. It would be great for us to all to sit around and celebrate, to say, we was able to take a week out of our business because we are financially set up. I always think I'm too broke to be breaking too long. I'm too broke to be breaking too long. And you got some people that are actually struggling. They are struggling, and they'll say that they need a break. You need a break from what? I need a break from the struggle. I need a break from not being able to do what I want to do when I want to do it. I need a break from being able to go where I want to go. I need a break from not being the person. I need a break from not being able to be the person that I want to be. That's what I need a break from. No, I still show up. I love it. I love it. That's the way we gotta be as vision-driven individuals. We cannot be knocked down by situations and figure, I can't show up because this and that and the third happened. No, we're going to have to take this, that, and the third with us. And we don't have to look like what we're going through. Good morning, Apostle Eric. Thank you so much for joining. We don't have to look like what we're going through. Because see, when we start looking like what we're going through, it'll get you off track when people asking you what's wrong. And when they start, you're going to have to show up, and you're going to have to show up and show out where in the end. And when you're able to tell your testimony, people can say, I didn't even know you was going through it. I got a business partner right now. In 2020, he was diagnosed with cancer, and I didn't know him then, but I've heard his testimony. He was diagnosed with cancer, and you don't know his name, so I can say this, but he was diagnosed with cancer, and then in the last week and a half or so, he's had COVID. But every business meeting, he has showed up. He has still spoken. And past the time where it was time for him to show up, he was resting. He's recovering. He is doing well. But you know what? That means, that shows a lot. And for somebody, they would cringe upon that. They would have a frown nose upon that. But we can't make any excuses. Because see, if I made excuses after my car wreck, if I listened to strictly what the doctor said, if I would have allowed what they said to get in my head, where they said there's some things that she would never do, and there's some things that it would take her forever to do. I had to challenge what they said. But see, the challenge comes within us. Because see, do you know you can conjure up an emotion just by a thought in your mind? You can make yourself cry just by a thing that you think on. You can sit too long and think about something that hurted your feelings, something that somebody said, and something that somebody did. You will become situational driven because it'll stop you in your track. Now you don't feel like eating. You don't want to talk to nobody. You feel like you just want to sleep and you want to sit around and be by yourself. You got to be vision driven when you say, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I know what I saw, but this is not what I see. So I'm not there yet. So I got to know what it is that I need to be doing, baby, to be heading on in the direction that I need to be going, baby. Come on now, somebody. You got to know that we cannot let nothing and nobody get us off track of the vision. We got to keep going. We must keep going. Let me take a sip of this coffee. Throat acting all funny. Hold on. Thank you so much, and excuse me. But you have to be vision driven. We have to be vision driven. Or we have to be strong enough in the midst of the thing that is happening. Because if you are leading individuals and you have people that are counting on you, and I know there are always times for breaks, but you need to have backup. You need to have a plan for a problem. Can we say that? Can you put that in the comments? You need to have a plan for a problem. A lot of times we don't know how to respond to a problem because we have not been proactive in our planning. We need to have a plan for a problem. And what I mean by that, I know somebody want to know what you mean. What you mean, Coach O? I can't let nothing or nobody get in my way. Yes. What you mean? You need to have a plan for a problem. You need to have a proactive plan for a problem that said if this was happening, because see, you got to know that some stuff gonna come up. What would I do if, this happened and that happened? What would I do? You don't have to know the exact thing, but you need to have a clue on what you would do. Good morning, Belinda. Thank you so much for joining. I need somebody to put it in the comments. Do I have a plan? Do I have a plan? Hold on one second. Let me tell her I'll call her right back. Do I have a plan for a problem? You do not have to have every step. But you need to know that, just like, if you have a fire, right? If you have a fire, Lord forbid that you have a fire, but you have an evacuation plan. And like for me, I got a floor plan. I have a floor plan posted up in the hallway. You got to have a plan like you in the hotel. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Belinda. Thank you, Carla. Thank you for putting that in there. You have to have a floor plan. If something happened, if it happened, this is where you are. This is the way that you're going to exit out of here. This is what you're going to do. With my kids, we practice evacuating out of the house. And then I tell them, I tell them in a few minutes, I tell them, don't try to get nothing. You leave out with what you have. Don't try to get your this and my favorite that. Don't try to go back and get this. I was looking at, we had a, we had a local fire here 2 weeks ago. It'll be 2 weeks ago on tomorrow, where a young lady, 43 years old, she lost her life. House caught on fire. She went back in thinking her mother was in there and trying to go get her pet. Her mother wasn't in the house. When she went in the house was burning, so the roof caved in on her and killed her. 43 years old. This will be 2 weeks ago tomorrow. This was 4 blocks away from me. I stay on the corner of 7th Street. And if my mind served me right, it was right on the corner of 11th Street. 10th or 11th Street. It was on the corner of 11th Street. I'm talking like if I get in my car, literally, I can be there in 2 minutes. It was right down the street. You have to have a plan. You have to already be told yourself that if something go down, I'm not trying to go and get nothing. You got to try to get everybody. You got to have a pre-plan. And I know that was a different circumstance because she was out of the home and went in. Right? But sometimes in the midst of a thing, we will react versus responding when we don't have a plan. She was 43, Carla. 43. And the roof caved in on her. And as the news said that her mother was not in the house, she had already got out. And I think she did lose 4 pets, but okay. We would, for those that love pets, but I'm not a pet lover. I'm not a pet hater. If you like them, great. I just don't. I'm just not a fan of them. I had a cat that I used to feed. I was scared of it though. Think about it. Think about what I just said. You have to have a plan for a problem. A pre-plan for a problem. Oh my God. If I was to have a flat, what would I do? So you can think of something so simple as a flat. Do you have roadside assistance? Do you have a spare? Do you have a jack? Do you have the key to go to your, some of these newer vehicles, you got locks on your tires. Do you have the lock to go to your tire? Do you have a plan? Do you have somebody that you can call? Do you have a phone? That's one of the, when you think about it, that's a simple thing. What will I do? And even in the simplest things we don't have a plan. Therefore, we react and versus us responding. So my question is, are you vision driven or situational driven, and when a situation show up in your life, do you lose all self-control? Do you lose all self-control when situations show up? Or do you say, let me think about this, let me process this, and I know one time we was, preparation, scary cat. Oh yes, I am. I'm scared of everything. I don't want no dogs licking on me. I don't want, and I had a cat. Let me tell you about the cat story. Good morning, Princess. Thank you so much for joining. Let me tell you about the cat story, Apostle. I had a cat, and I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm thinking, I said the cat, I ain't know no better. I ain't been around nobody with no cat because I don't do cats, right? So I'm thinking, if the cat is going to be around, I want to make sure that, and my kids really wasn't a fan of it, but, at first they was all likey and everything. So we named the cat Onika Shirley. And so the cat we gave the cat a family name, honey. So let me tell you about the cat. Listen, my smart self. Yes, you talking about Coach O. My smart self, honey, I'm scared to touch the cat. I'm scared to touch it. I'm scared of it. So I'm thinking that the cat gonna get in the car and act like a kid. You hear me? I'm thinking the cat is gonna get in the car, act like a kid. I had called the vet, so I wanted to go and get the cat neutered, and I wanted to go and get the cat some shots. Listen. Don't laugh at me, y'all. Don't laugh at me, baby. I went and got a big towel. Because I was scared to touch the cat with my hands. I went and got a big towel, honey, to pick the cat up. I put the cat in the back seat thinking that the cat is going to stay back there sitting down, right? I had drove probably 5 or 6 minutes, not that far from my house. I got to the red light. Oh my God, that cat jumping around and trying to jump up to the front seat. I'm about to have a whole car wreck because I am so scared. I get the cat to the vet, right? I get him in there and I get the cat in there. And so they did what they had to do when they called and said, Miss Shirley, Brownie is ready. They had given the cat his little shots. And they had gave him some, honey, for his nose. He had the sniffles or something. So, no, for his eyes. Yeah, for his eyes. So anyway, at the time, I had a little boy child. But baby, let me tell you, we went to go pick up the cat. And I done already told you that I was scared, right? We go and pick up the cat, and where the vet is here on the highway is by some woods and all this and that and the third. We go and get the cat. I done paid these people $100 and some. I done paid these people $100 and some for neutering this cat and getting him his little shots and getting him his little eye drops. Baby, we get outside to put the cat in the car, and the cat takes off running. I told the little boy that I said, you better go and get him. You better hurry up and go and get him. So anyway, long story short, we get the cat. But after then, I never touched that cat again. But I'm running to the store, honey, getting cat food. And my pastor said, why is you buying food for that cat? He should be doing this and that and the third. It made me feel so bad, but I didn't care. I kept going by food, and I bought food for that cat for years. And then I have some neighbors right now. So the cat was around me for probably 9.5 years, about 9 or 10 years. And so my neighbors, they thought they had found a cat. So I started looking, because, we wasn't really, I'm feeding them. That's about all I was doing, to be honest. So I started seeing my next door neighbors, they start, housing the cat. And I'm thinking, I said, well, and see, he still comes sitting over here because he didn't crescent. He moved over here with me. He moved from the location I moved from to this location. And so I just let him, kept him. So anyway, it got to a point where I don't know where these other dogs and cats start coming from, but I haven't seen him in about, it's been probably a year now. But I think at one point I had a really, they used to be under my house and making all this noise. And I really think he got killed in a fight under the house or something. I don't know. But I haven't seen him since then. And at one point I had a terrible smell under my house for about a week. Couldn't get nobody to go up under there, but I just know I knew in my heart that's what it was. But that's my cat story. That's my cat story. You can call me a scary cat or whatever. I don't care. I'm still scared of him. My baby, she got a puppy. And I went to her house. She like, he's friendly. And so just to entertain her, I let him get on my little knee and all this and that. But I wasn't really with that program because I don't want no dog licking on me. I'm sorry. If that's your thing, I don't have no problem with it. I don't like it. And I think, and I shouldn't have been scared of cats. I'm gonna get back to what I'm saying. Be patient. Don't be on here being greedy. Let me share my story with you. I shouldn't have been scared of cats and dogs because my granddaddy had plenty of them. But even then, I didn't like them. I used to kick them, and he used to get them. Don't be kicking. I'm like, honey, when I get out this car, they don't need to be up here licking on me. Get your dogs now. And I mean, he had, because he stayed out in the country, he had about $10 or $15. There was a bunch of them. You get out, they just surround you. And I was scared of them. I'm sorry. But have mercy on me. Sometimes I see a little poodle and they be so cute. I mean, some of them, they're really cute. And maybe as I'm an empty nester, maybe I get a dog to entertain myself. I just don't see that being so because I'm scared of it. So if you're looking for me and you talking about that's gonna be, don't want no dog because we ain't doing no pits and no bulls and all that. That ain't me because I'm not gonna be running around scared in my house. But anyway, that was just a side note. It's good to be real, and I don't want you to think that I'm with everything and I ain't scared of nothing. No. I'm scared of a lot of stuff. Still scared of the dog. You see how much light I be having on? I got so much light on, it probably don't even make a difference. I got the overhead light on. I got light on to the side, lamps on. And that's where I sleep. But anyway, I hope that this is my whole point on today. That you would not let situations and circumstances stop you. Because this is the season that so many people, they say they don't like the holidays because, they have memories of loved ones and different things happen around this time. But this is what we got to be grateful for. Because we're not giving God a fair rap. Yes, you are scared of dogs. Yes, I am. I'm going to tell you. Belinda, no, I went to her house one time, honey. And I went and all I did was I went to ring her doorbell. And baby, her dog was still in the house. The door was still closed. You know what I did? Ran back toward my car. That was the first time I went to her house. I ran back. That dog piped up. I heard that dog barking. And baby, I was gone. You don't know Coach O can run till she's scared. You hear me? You don't know that I can run till I'm scared, but baby, I did that. I ain't ashamed to tell you. One thing I'm not afraid of is to tell you the truth. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I did that. That dog got the barking and I got the running to my car. I'm thinking, When I did, now check this out. When I did, you're welcome. When I did census, said a lot of people didn't know. I did census 2020 this year. That was a lesson. This is probably my first time talking about it publicly. But I talked about it to the Empowering Eight Inner Circle. But I did census 2020 for a couple of months this year. Look for the positive out of every negative. Yes. I did census 2020. So when I went and did census that there were places where there were dogs and there were cats and there was this and there was that. But I had to have I got to a point. Now, I got to tell you my dog story. Now, Belinda, your dog did scare me. Really did. And it was in the house because I wasn't looking for that. Yes, I needed to hear that message from you. Thank you so much, Shamika. Thank you so much. But I'm going to tell you what kind of got me where I'm not really afraid of dogs anymore, but they're not my thing, right? They're not my thing. I don't care who like them. I don't care who gets them or who have them. I'm not biased and got a problem with you. But I'm going to tell you what broke my fear of dogs. I've always been scared of dogs. But back here and this is about now probably 3 years ago. Or maybe it was 2.5 years ago. I don't know the timing. But anyway, I was sitting at the bus stop with my children. I was sitting at the bus stop because I always have this thing where, and I got a little bit more comfortable with my boys. But my girls, I always took them to school. And I was always one of those drop my kids off at school type of moms and not leave my kids at the bus stop type of moms. And, And so, and even with my kids that's here now, I took them to school. I always took them to school. And if they rode the bus, I sit at the bus stop till they got on the bus. And so one day I was sitting at the bus stop and it was 2 little girls sitting out and there was a dog that was coming charging, and I'm thinking, and that's what broke my fear. I jumped out of the car and you would have thought I looked at that dog and I was like, no. Good morning, Willie. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you. And from that day forward, I can tolerate a dog. From that day forward, I was no longer scared because I was not going to just sit there and allow the dog to attack those babies. That broke my fear. And that stuck with me. That was a lesson for me, because as scared as I was of it, and I was in my car, door closed, windows up, I would have been safe. But I was not going to allow the dog to attack those babies. And I jumped out, baby, like I was the dog catcher. You wouldn't have never knew that I had a fear of dogs. But that broke my fear of dogs. So that's how I was able, just last year, able to let my daughter's dog get all up on me. Now, I didn't like it. I didn't want him licking on me. But I wasn't scared of him. There's a difference. I wasn't scared of him. Right? So, now, back to my message. That was just a side note. I hope that helps somebody. Because, see, sometimes we have to face our fear. Sometimes we have to face our situation. And when we have our vision in front of us and a situation come up, that's where it is important to have an image. We have to have an image. We have to say, this is where I want to be, but this is where I am. How many of you have an image of where you want to be, but you have a picture right now of where you are, and that should drive you to say, I got to keep going. I got to keep going. I have my first goal, because see, you can't get to millions until you get to 1 million. So I don't have a goal to say, well, I want to make 50 million. I want to first make one. So my first goal is to make $83,333.33 a month. Times 12, that's $1 million. If I can do that, that's my first goal. But in order for me to get to $83,333.33, I had to first set myself to say, if I can make $10,000 a month, if I can make $100,000 a year, I need to at least make $8,333.33. I've done that a month. I've done over that a month. So when you have a vision of where you want to go, you can do the thing that you want to do. So I want you to be very clear on your vision, your goals, your desires, your dreams. And I want you to be, if you need to do what you need to do in this season. But I pray your strength in the Lord, that you would allow God to strengthen you, even in your weakest moments, in those moments that you are reminded of those that you love, those that are no longer here with you. But I know, like my grandmother, she would be most proud. My grandmother, she would always say, I don't want nobody sitting around doing X, Y, Z when I'm not here. I know the things that I do now will make my grandmother most proud. And the reason I know that, they made her proud while she was here. I know her desire would not be for me to not be living, My grandmother was my biggest fan. She loved, loved, loved. She loved her family. My grandmother used to say, if she knew I was putting on a program at my church for Black History or for Christmas, my grandmother was a faithful a Christian. She attended her church. But if she knew that her grandkids were doing something, she had said, we having something at my church, but I want to be with my family. Come and pick me up. So I'll go and pick up my grandmother. Lord rest her soul. I'll go and pick up my grandmother because she would go to church with me on Christmas and Easter and Black History and those programs, because I was the youth department coordinator. And so I was putting the programs together. And of course, my kids and the other grandkids, and they were in the program. So she would come to church and she would say, my kids, my grandkids. My grandmother always prayed. I do not remember a day, not one time that I was ever around her that I never heard anything about the Lord. Never. I was never around her my whole entire life. I can say that about my grandmother, Estella Clay. I don't remember her never whooping me. I don't. If she did, I don't remember it. I do not, never, ever, ever remember one time of her being around you. She was not going to share the gospel. She was going to share some scriptures. I don't remember a time. So the life and the legacy that I live is because of the life that my grandmother lived, the prayers that my grandmother prayed. And so I miss her dearly. Times like this, I always bought my grandmother something for Christmas every year. I always bought my grandmother something for her birthday every year. So when those times come up and now I'm not buying her gifts and thinking about a gift that I can buy for her, because I used to, I used to buy her always, because I love inspirational gifts. I'm a gospel girl. I love me some scriptures, honey, and some plaques and some stuff. My mama told me, for my birthday, I love stuff like this. I love to be surrounded by positivity, and like all of my whatnots there. That's just what I like. You like what you like. I love things that is going to keep my vision. I'm a traveler. I love to travel. I love to travel, right? So I have things around me that will make me happy. I don't have sad stuff around me. Nothing the thing that I have, I'm just showing you some of my little stuff that when I come in my little space, I love to travel. So, and I love inspirational things. And, different little things that I have around me, I just have stuff all around me that when I look around, it's positive. I'm not looking for stuff that's going to make me cry and going to make me sad. And I don't have, and I'm going to tell you, I remember when my grandfather first passed. I had a picture of him in his casket, right? And the bed that I had at the time, it had a whole setup at the top and mirror and this and that. But anyway, I had that picture, but it didn't bother me. Now, when I had somebody that was living with me, and it didn't bother him either. He didn't tell me to take it down because it was there before he got there. But anyway, for a long time, I left that picture, but it didn't bother me looking at it. It didn't make me sad because it was there. Because see, if it was something that would have made me feel sad and would have put me at some point of depression or some ill feelings or something like that, it wouldn't have been there. Right? But I don't surround myself, and this is another little thing that I have that I look at. But I put myself, you see here, this was presented to me when I went to India. I surround myself with things that I love. I'm not going to be listening at no sad songs. And then, I have my little picture around me when I got my doctorate degree that my baby, she bought me this. She went and got this picture developed and gave this to me. I think as a part of I think it was a part of my Valentine's gift or a birthday gift or something she gave me. I don't know what it was. But anyway, it was for something that she had got me. But this is my point. Situations can keep you sad. So a lot of times I look at people and they think that they're doing themselves some good because they have all this stuff around them that make them cry. They have all this stuff in these people that make them say it. See, sometimes that's why even you don't need negative people around you, because it'll make it situational and it'll get you off track. It'll get you off task. It'll get you off focus. But you have to focus on what you focus on. And if focusing on the thing that make you sad and cry, I'm not going to look at that every day. I'm sorry. That's when I don't watch the news. You got some people, they know everything that come on the news and all this and that. The news is a bunch of junk. I need to know enough news to be aware of what's going to keep me out of danger, what's going to cause me some harm, or those different sorts of types of things. But news is not my thing every day. I don't really know the last time I've sit and watched news. Because I know the things that are super vital and the things that are super important, y'all gonna post it on Facebook, so I can just scan Facebook and look on there. But I'm not finna spend all day. News come on in the morning, news come on in the evening. You got your morning news, you got your 5 o'clock news, you got your 10 o'clock news, and ain't nothing on there good. All it's doing is making you scared, telling you about all the crime and all the robbing and all of this, all the negative stuff. It don't tell you, because have you noticed how the news highlight the crazy? It don't never highlight none of the good stuff. It don't never, I mean, I'm not going to say never, but you see more bad than you do good. And you just think like there's nothing good happening in this world. There's a lot of good that's going on, but they don't air that. And have you noticed how when they go into these different neighborhoods, they go and try to find some of the worst neighborhoods, the most ran down neighborhoods, some folks that know they don't need to be on camera. And I'm not trying to be funny, I'm just being for real. But anyway, I'm finna be off of here. That's what I'm gonna be. But anyway, happy Christmas Eve. Be safe, be careful, be focused, be focused. I pray that you have an amazing day. If you're new to me, this is your girl, Coach O, founder and CEO of Action Speaks Volume Incorporated. I am known as your procrastination strategist, behavior change expert. I help you to build unshakable confidence, stop procrastinating, and you got it. Get your dreams out of your head into your life. I pray that you have an amazing day. God bless you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hello.